We have flashing lights here at Memory Bound. Oh, and Chris is here with cards. And Chris, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Do you remember at Kmart back
The
in the old
flashing light
days?
special?
And didn't they have
They had a blue light special.
a blue light special that would, I think it kind of flashed, and they had a little cart.
Yep.
How many of you remember the Kmart blue light special? Anyhow, we have a lot of specials today because Chris is here and she's got lots of ideas for your Patriotic Card sending. And you're going to love, look at this one, how you make a flag. So she's going to talk about that and give us some ideas for making cards, because you know the 4th of July is a great time to send cards out and let people know that you think of them. Maybe, I'm going to say civilians, Chris, maybe people in the military, people in the government, your firemen, police officers, your friends. It's a great time to send out cards for the patriotic celebration. And before we get to Chris, I'm going to show you over here what Penny did yesterday. And I honestly found this to be very amazing. Look at all this. It's definitely red, white, and blue today, Chris.
I was mouth hanging open.
So Penny took a 6x6 paper pad, and she used the one from Doodlebug, Hometown USA. And you'll see here there's one 6x6 piece with those blue with the little stars. And then she went to 2. So this layout has 2. So you've got one here, and then she cut them. So you have part of one here, and you've got part of one over here on the left. And then she went, I don't know if this one is 3. I believe it is. So here you'll see a square here and a square there. And then this is tricky, guys, because she cut it out and flipped it because these were all two-sided. Oh, Jerry. Okay, we're interrupting for a live announcement. I feel like I need that news that, you know, how they used to do. Jerry, thank you a bunch. There is a veterans home here in Iowa in Marshalltown, and she said the veterans love to get mail, and so that would be a great place. If you love to make cards and you love to make people happy, to send some cards to the residents at the Iowa Veterans Home in Marshalltown, Iowa. And I don't know if we can get an address for that or not while we're watching, but maybe we could get one after the video. And Jerry, our daughter, did her pharmacy residency there, and she absolutely loved it. She had so much fun and loved working with the veterans, so I'm familiar with that. So here's some more of, back to regular programming, here's some more of Penny's layouts from yesterday. And this will all be on the blog. So you'll see this on the blog. She showed us a tip on how to do these 1-inch squares and make them a little easier to adjust and move around. And then this is also made with a 6x6 tablet. She just cut it into squares. And Penny got 15 layouts, she said, out of that tablet. And then she used a couple pieces of cardstock, and then she used the embellishments. So good morning. Susie's here. Catherine. Jerry says the veterans there are very special people, and I know they were when our daughter was there. She really enjoyed it. Let's see. Good morning, Bonnie and Lois.
I know.
And
I'm sorry.
Kathy. No.
I know also.
Here's Chris, everybody.
Good morning. I know also the nursing homes in your local towns. A lot of times you can bring cards like that up. Just leave them unaddressed, obviously, and they will hand them out to veterans that are in their nursing facility.
That's a great idea. I'm glad I didn't think of any of this on my own. This is all from you guys, so thank you, Chris and Jerry. And Chris, Susan is watching live for the first time in a long while. So Susan, we're glad you're here live. We hope it's as fun as it is later. So if you're watching live or later, welcome everybody. Jennifer, good morning. I remember we would rush over. Oh, when they were announced. Oh, Jennifer's remembering the blue light special.
Oh, yeah.
That you'd rush over. And wasn't it on a little wheeled
on a
cart?
Yes.
And oh my gosh, I don't think Kmart exists anymore, but that was a big thing in the old days.
Kelly, we have a cart.
We do.
Could we start doing that?
We should have a blue light special, but we can use your Chris's
My lights.
patriotic lights.
Yes.
We can hang these from it and have a little special.
If anybody needs those, I got those at Fleet Farm.
There you go. It's funny because I walked around the corner, so I came. Let me reenact my thing. I got to turn around, so bear with me, guys. So I walked back here, and I'm like, what are those flashing lights? And I went like this.
She
and
was
I'm
going
like,
very fast.
What is that? Oh my gosh, I love it.
And I had them around my neck, but they were making me a little wonky, or wonkier than usual.
Wonkier than usual,
yes,
Chris?
so I had to take them off and put them on the cute little picket fence.
Well,
so.
they're perfect. I love it. And Donna loves your shirt.
Oh, well, thank you.
Land of the free because of the brave. That
Yep.
is a great one. Okay, and Donna Baker's here from Bakersfield.
Well, yay.
So we got 2 Donnas watching then. And here's Jennifer. They like your idea of having a blue light special. Okay, Kay wants to know where we got the little white fence, little shelf. And one of our staff members gave us that years ago, like maybe 15 years ago, because she no longer wanted it. And we've just been using it as a prop.
Isn't that cool?
And Gil reiterated what you said about nursing homes, retirement places would love to take any cards that you give them. And residents can send you the cards then. So
Exactly. That's where most of these are going.
that's sweet.
I have 3 family members in the military, but they'll probably all end up going to nursing homes. So.
Well, that's great. That's really sweet. Okay, Catherine just joined us. Now, yesterday we had a bit of a remodel.
Isn't it awesome?
So yesterday, so we do have quite a bit of Tim Holtz fabric, and that we carry fabric, but just the Tim Holtz fabric for right now. But boy, Chris, fabric is just like paper.
Oh,
you can
I
get
know
carried
it.
away. So Janine had the idea that we needed to expand our Elizabeth Craft wall. So in order to do that, we had to take the fabric down that was over here where I'm showing you now. And so Janine will be in today, and she's going to get this all organized for us, which is quite a task.
Oh my goodness. She
So
does
then
such a great job of it.
Penny and Marcia moved our fabric over here. So now we've got a really nice looking fabric section.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have the new Tim Holtz Halloween and Christmas arriving, I think in July. I'm trying to find that out right now. But our fabric you can buy by the yard, the half yard, or you can get a crafty cut, what we call it, which is approximately 12 by 22.
Well, and Tim this time, or whoever decides that, made bundles up already.
Yeah, these are fat quarters. I think I might have called them jelly rolls by mistake. But these came from our fabric supplier, already pre-cut and folded. Yeah, I just want to lay that around just because it's pretty. And this is what Alicia used when she was here this week. Chris, we got a really nice message from Lori in Minnesota. She goes, it's so beautifully patriotic there at Memory Bound today. Love all the great ideas. Thank you for always starting my day off with happiness and fun. So, and have a great weekend. So, all right. Well, we do have a great thing to announce that finally.
Would you like me to flip these around, or are you going to come
I'll
around?
Come over here.
Okay.
So finally, the spritz arrived. The new Tim Holtz Distress Spritz. So this is it, laying here at Memory Bound on our table in person. Everybody.
And I'd like to apologize to Teresa for not having them in rainbow
it's
color.
Not in rainbow colors.
No, I'm sorry.
So we kind of had to put this together quickly because I'm like, we need to show one of each color. Now, Tim has an amazing, amazing video out on his YouTube channel. So if you wanted to learn more about them, you could go out there and watch his video. You guys, it's only 2 hours long, so it's one of his shorter videos. And he talks about the colors and how they work. And we have Teresa is coming in on Tuesday, and she's going to show you some hands-on spritz. Did I call it spray? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I hope I didn't, but it's spritz. She's going to show some hands-on work with it. She's going to come in and get the colors today that she wants. And then, so we'll show you more about it, but we do have it by the bottle. You can get whichever colors you want. It's all online, and it's $3.99, which is kind of cool.
Would you like me to do something today?
No, you're good, Chris. Grab us a bundle and let's
Kelly's
show.
doing everything.
You know what? Bev said she visited us yesterday.
Yes, she was here.
And she said she loved visiting. So thank you, Bev. We love having people visit. We had people from Colorado yesterday and Minnesota, and there was one other long distance one. I think it was Illinois. So thanks for making us part of your journey.
Look at that.
Now, if you want them all, that is not a problem here at Memory Bound. You can get them individually, or we have a bundle where you can get all 12 colors, and it's 10% off, so it's $43 instead of $47 or almost $48. So you save $4 to $5 if you know you're going to get them all. That's a good way to do it. And there is a tin coming out that they will fit in, but unfortunately not until the fall. So when the tins are available, September, October-ish, we'll have those available too, so you can have a nice place to store them in. And the other thing, Chris, I don't know if you knew this, but there's also replacement nozzles coming.
Oh.
Because this is a different size than all of his other sprays.
Okay, that's right.
I think that's why I like it, because they're just different. They're kind of tall and skinny.
They fit into, I've got a thin drawer at home in my...
Chris got hers.
I have some, and they just fit perfectly. And because he has them in a tin, I know that you're supposed to store them laying down by the way his tin is designed.
Okay.
At least that's what I'm assuming.
That's what it looks like.
And they just fit perfectly in my drawer. So I did that a couple times this morning, opened them, smiled, shut the drawer.
Well, they are happy. People are talking about coming to Memory Bond and being happy, but look at the colors. I don't know, when I saw this, we ordered them without seeing them at all or knowing anything about them. We just knew it was a new distressed product, so hey, we're going to order it and order a lot. And then when I saw them on his video, I'm like, those are happy sprays.
Well, and we've got all the inks that match, so you can coordinate with your...
And in his video, he does talk about that. Okay, so we have just a couple, we just have a few dies we wanted to show you that came. This is a restock. Penny used this yesterday, and I think we only had one left, but it's back.
Let me show you the back side just because you can maybe see the size a little better. Those are only $15.99 for all 4 of them, so that's nice. And then you could layer, but
yeah, and I think it cuts like a frame. It cuts out the outside.
Yep, very cool.
Okay, and Chris, sorry I'm going to interrupt you because otherwise I'll miss these messages. Hang on, everybody. Kay said the video said to lie them flat. Becky said Tim stands them up but lays them down when he's working with them. And you guys, that has to do with I don't know if it's mica, but this good pearl stuff. It's easier to mix it up if they're laying down. If you'll see this one, how it's all at the bottom. Oh gosh, there we go. So thank you guys for letting us know about that. I watched a portion of his video. Oh, I don't know if we've had this before.
I don't know if we have either. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I like that. These are Impression Obsession. Oh, and it's a good size.
Yeah, and I like that it gives you the waffle weave impression on it for $6.49.
Yeah, they have good dies. And this is another back in stock. I think we were out of it and somebody needed it.
Yes. Well, Janet needed.
Yes, it was Janet.
Yeah.
Janet needed the balloons.
Yeah, for $12.99. And you get 3 sizes in there. So that's awesome. Wouldn't that be cute coming out of a box?
It would, or an envelope, or
yes. You could do it
we have an envelope die.
So many people do the gender reveals.
Oh yes.
You could,
Chris, I think you could cut those out in red, white, and blue and put it on a patriotic card too.
Definitely.
Okay, now here's something, Chris.
Okay.
Joellen, this is the first time she's ever watched us live.
Oh.
That's 2 new livers.
Yeah.
But she's watched every video in 2024, and she's crafting more in 2024.
Nice.
So,
yay.
Joellen, thanks for that comment. That's really good to know. Oh, we had one more.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a large thanks, and it's all connected, which is wonderful.
We like connectivity. Is that the right word, Chris? I don't know.
Don't ask me. Not
right.
the person. Oh, and I think this is a restock, but I'm not sure.
It's a restock, but hooked on fishing. It's just really nice, dimensional. It's got your tackle box. Chris, do you fish?
I have. This is only $4.99. I enjoy it, but I'd rather. I took my grandson to Arkansas to the Diamond Crater, and we dug for diamonds, and then he got to fish for 2 or 3 days on the nice lake down there. So it was a combined trip.
Well, if you're with your grandson, it's got to be fun.
Yeah, I laid on the top of the pontoon that we rented, and he fished with the guys. And so, yeah, it was a good trip.
That's nice. Okay. All right. So
How
we're
about
going to...
you?
I'm not really a fisher person. I remember as a kid, and I don't know if any of you have this memory, but my dad, I had a brother and a sister. There's 3 of us kids, and then my uncle and my cousins. And my dad and my uncle, Chris, all they did was run from kid to kid and work out snags.
Oh, I bet.
So that's my fishing. but it's nice to be outside on the water. I do enjoy that.
Right.
Okay, well, so much for our what we've got to show you and our distress bundle, and now we're going to go patriotic.
All right.
So we're going to move over here to our table with our flashing lights, and we do have a blue light flashing even. So Janet said she fished all the time growing up with her parents, and she even made charts of how many they caught. Oh my God, that sounds so Janety.
Of course there was a chart.
Very organized.
I would have been disappointed if there wasn't.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right, so this last 2 weeks maybe, is it, that we've done red, white, and blue?
We've been doing red, white, and blue, and it's perfect for today.
And I decided to do cards, and my goal was to use this star die. Whoops. Throw it on the floor, Chris. This star die on each card.
Oh, so use that on every card.
Yes.
And that's the framelits from Sizzix, and I think is it called Stars?
It is, and apparently this
free?
one is free.
It's either free
Whoop,
or
whoop.
very expensive.
Let me see if the one in my container
That's
has
what
a
I always
price.
say, that if it's not priced. Now this is the Sizzix die, and you're going to get 5 dies, and the thing that's a little different with this.
$24.99.
Okay, it's $24.99. Look at the metal on this die, and then just to compare. So you get a little bit more of, I don't think it's called a shelf, but you have a little bit more stability on the Sizzix framelit shapes like this. And you can kind of see the difference, how it's a little bit wider die. I've always wanted to point that out, Chris.
This one is not going to bend on you.
No.
No matter how many times you run it.
$24.99, and is called Stars. 657567. That's kind of a cool number.
It is. Belongs on one of Teresa's cards.
It does.
Do you want me to go through the cards?
Yeah, do you want to show us what you made?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm just getting settled here, so we're bouncing around a bit.
And I used all the same paper line except for a couple of them, which is the Stars and Stripes Forever. I just picked individual pieces, which I have up here, which Doug linked.
So all of these papers are on our calendar. So
Yes.
and you know, I got to put a plug in for the calendar and tell Doug thank you. So here are the papers that Chris used from Stars and Stripes Forever, and is that Echo Park?
It is.
Echo Park. So if you go to our online calendar, it's going to tell you what we're doing each day, and there's links to the product we're using. So if you're ever like, oh, Chris made this card and I can't remember what she used, but it was this paper with fireworks on it, you could go out to the calendar and you'd be able to tell what it was.
This one, I should have, well, here. This one I used the second star in, and I just cut a bunch of them and I made a wreath.
I like that.
And then I used some of our honeybee gems because I decided
let's
it
zoom in
just
on the
needed
gems.
a little something. And
I could see
the
the gems there.
time I didn't have this one at home, but you could use this very easily to add a little dimension.
And since you're showing that one, that's new from Doodlebug.
Yes. Mini gems, and it is Patriotic Assortment.
And I've not seen Doodlebug do these shaped gems like that, and I think they're really cool. I was just talking to our sales rep yesterday, and the Hometown USA collection has been doing really well, and this is part of that. And we just got in an order of these, so
yeah,
we have a lot to
great.
share with everybody.
And then, okay, so
So Chris, I like how you divided. That was an A7 card, so it's 5 by 7. And I like how she divided it and put the message at the bottom. And that is something you could do with any themed card.
oh yeah, definitely. And I just like that it divided it a bit more. I'm going to grab these two at the same time only because they both started out as flags. But then I went, let's do Uncle Sam's hat. So that's, you know,
okay.
as simple as that. You'd flip it over and you've got Uncle Sam's hat instead. This one I tore and then
Okay.
inked the edges.
So,
and-
so I have to look at this carefully. So the red strips are just on a white card. You don't
Correct.
have, okay.
Yep. Which really cuts down. And then I, you know, had to Google because I should know at 65 years of age that red goes on top. But anyway, that's what
really
I
neat.
did.
And that star is from that die?
It sure
So
is.
it makes
It
a
is-
nice little star
it's
too.
that tiny in the middle one. very smallest.
Okay.
And I wish I had, but I'm not as brave as Teresa. Teresa cuts her stamps and has no issue with it. I, on the other hand,
cut my stamps.
broke out in a cold sweat. So I think I would have liked to have cut this in half and just done thank you instead of thank you so much, because here it is. I love the stamp.
That's a great stamp set.
It has so many cool words. If I were to do it over, I would have cut it and just stamped thank you all within the stripes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And this is called,
I think it's right there on the front.
okay, can you read it? Or?
Yep. So this is called All Occasion Sentiments. It's from Elizabeth Crafts. And Chris and I were talking about this one. And of course, I made my usual comment that I need this, because they're really nice sayings and they're really nice size. They're small, so they would be good just to add for a little, like she tucked it between those stripes, or you could put it on the inside or the outside. And it even has Happy Harvest, Happy Holidays, I love you, I miss you, get well soon, friends to the end, sympathy, anniversary, Mother's Day, Father's Day, New Year. There's just a bunch.
Every holiday, I believe, is included.
And Chris, it's only $12.99.
I know.
So it's All Occasion Sentiments by Elizabeth Crafts.
Kelly's like, just take one out of inventory, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I need this one in my collection.
And Chris, Anna has an idea for you that you could mask. If you wanted to, you could mask the so much off.
That's true.
So,
and I do have masking liquid that I could
sure,
use at home. So this one,
I really like the background on
thank
this.
you. Again, I ripped it, and depending on which way you hold your paper, and to me, this paper, this Echo Park, really rips nicely compared to some.
And it's got the white core, which
Yes.
is kind of cool.
And I'm going to be honest, I'm doing 2 projects right now, one for myself and one that I was doing for a demo. And I can't remember if I used Hickory Smoke or Lost Shadow. You take a piece of scrap paper and you play with it and you decide which one you like the best.
I would guess Lost Shadow on that, but
Well,
because
probably.
it's a little bit lighter. Well, I don't know, it's a little darker.
And then
you guys can guess.
Yes.
It'll be a fun little guessing game.
That's
And
right.
we don't know the answer,
No.
so.
There's no prize involved. I used 3 different size stars, and what I did was I took my scraps of paper and I glued them on just a piece of cardstock, and then I cut out from there.
Oh my gosh, even that piece with the stripes would be a nice background.
Yeah. Yep.
So when I look at this, I have to keep looking and looking at this because I love how it's torn.
Yes. And what I did was I cut it to the size that I would matte, and then I just started tearing off little pieces.
Okay.
And
so you cut it first and then tore it.
Yeah. I knew I kind of wanted it the right size, or what size I wanted it.
You know how we have all those funky dies from AL and Create?
Yes.
That's what I thought of at first, and I had to keep looking at it because I really I've never torn a whole mat before. I've torn strips like you did with the flag, but that's a technique I'll be using because I do really like that.
Good. This one, well, here, let's do this one first. I took that whole
Oh, yes, I love that.
background, so I cut it the size I needed it after I framed it. And then I used from our frame and tag just a one of the cut aparts. Now this one, it comes apart. I just made sure it was stuck together when I put my pop dots on it.
Okay, so what she means is the Sweet Land of Liberty pops out of the center of the frame.
Correct.
So, but Chris kept it together. Now on this picture, they're separate, but when you get them in your package, they're going to be together, and they're perforated, and you pop them out. But
Exactly. And we've got plenty of those that match this paper, obviously, perfectly. But I grabbed some other collections that also.
The way it matches is really nice, Chris, because you're using the same colors, and you don't have to die cut or anything.
Exactly.
Because you've got your message on there, and I love that background with the scraps. Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh.
I think it just made it pop more.
It does.
As opposed to just doing something solid, but
and Chris
to each their
mentioned
own.
other collections. So she's using Echo Park Stars and Stripes. That is Stars and Stripes Forever. Stars and Stripes Forever. We have another Stars and Stripes. I just realized these are the same name.
I know it.
Chris brought this over to show us today, and this is our bundle that we have going, our special, and it's $12.99 for the paper and the ephemera. So you could do what Chris
upside
did.
down, but
You could do what Chris did with the bundle and make lots of cards.
And if you want something a little more, I don't want to say kiddish, but more youthful
more cute,
or
whimsical.
cutesy. Yeah, whimsical. That's a good one. This one has, oh my goodness, 137 pieces.
You should be able to find something.
Right.
And this is Hometown USA, and that's what Penny used yesterday on her layouts.
Oh, okay.
So there's, gosh, look at the difference. You can get so many different blue and red and patriotic schemes.
And then look at this one, which is very
vintage.
vintagey looking.
This is Michelle Coleman, the designer for Photoplay, and it's got your, I think, your music. I think it might be the
Star Spangled Banner.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out what USA song am I trying to think of.
But,
so that would be awesome too.
Oh yeah, and I'm thinking of the veterans for this one, because they probably might enjoy. Well, they're going to enjoy anything, but I think of the more vintage when I think of an older person, maybe.
And you guys, this is the designer, nothing to do with Patriotic, but Michelle Coleman is the designer of the new photo play collection called Everyday Junk, and that's been flying off our shelf. So if you haven't looked at that, we showed it a couple days ago. Go out and check it out, and I'm sure Janet will get it linked here for us too.
And then I grabbed, mainly because it had already had the...
That's inspiration right there.
Yes, exactly. There are so many in this one also, the flags and frills.
Frills. I know it's hard to say. That was our first Patriotic collection that arrived at the store.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty cool too. So anyway, those are some other lines.
Well, I love the idea of making cards for veterans and people in assisted living or people that can't get out and get cards, or lots of good ideas here.
Well, and then second to the last, we're going to make the last one on air just because we
Live.
can. Live, on
live.
air. This, I just used some blue, white, and red that I had at home. And then I used my embossing folders because I have so many of them that I
just
don't
emboss
use.
the strips.
Yeah, and because I already had a sheet that was partially cut out, I just went ahead and used those strips again, which just added, and then I pop dotted them up.
Well, Chris, I think you've shown us a lot of techniques we can use for many different things, and that making those stripes and die cutting those stars, you could do that for birthday, graduation, you could use other die cuts, so that's a great idea.
Well, and I had one in my pile, I don't know if I brought it. It was a heart that I had done for Valentine's Day, and then I actually used a heart die and cut the card into a heart shape, which was kind of fun just to use those stripes up. I had extra paper.
Well, Chris, Bonnie says she loves your cards.
Oh, well, thank you,
And
Bonnie.
Lisa says she's finding she loves to have a collection, have both the 12 by 12 and the smaller papers to match. It's nice just to have a whole collection, isn't it?
It is, and I find I really use it a lot when I have both of them, because that 6 by 6 or 8 by 6 is just a smaller pattern.
And they all coordinate. It's nice to have coordinating things.
And then
Oh, this is a wowzer.
I did this one, and of course I added my little stars on there. But
so the little stars she's talking about are these mini jewels from Doodlebug from the Hometown Collection.
Correct.
You see them on the blue there, guys.
now I have a very small fence die at home, but I needed something bigger, so I just went ahead and made it. And we're going to go ahead and do that.
We need to mention that none of this is made with You didn't have a flag die. You didn't have a fence die. You do have the star die.
Yep.
But Chris is going to show us how to make this fence and how to make those banners, which you guys, I've always wanted those on the front of my house and decorations. But
Telling Kelly, that's something I always look for after the 4th when they go
oh
on clearance.
yeah, that's a good idea.
And I've never had them either, but that's okay. Someday, Kelly, we'll
Someday
both
we'll
have
have
those.
them. I don't have a railing now to put them on. I would have to have Doug climb up on the roof and hang them from the roof.
Oh, well, that might not be good. All right.
All right.
So
we're going to make, so you guys, we're making this card right here.
Exactly.
This is going to show us how to do it.
I used a circle die. I have a different one at home, but this one has so many different sizes.
That has a ton. Has, 18 different dies.
So if the size isn't in here, you don't need it.
I love it.
And when I lay this out here, I can tell that there is that first size in here.
Oh, good.
So I started with, and I put this down backwards, my large red one, I did one circle that is 2 5/8.
Okay.
I did the white one, the largest white is 2 1/4. The blue is 1 7/8. And then I jumped down because I wanted enough room to put my stars, if that makes sense.
Oh, so the blue is a little bit bigger, a little bit more space between.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So then the next white one is 1 1/8, and the smallest red is 5/8. So that way, when you put it all together.
So you guys, don't you love it? She cut out circles and then cut them in half, and it's very festive.
Now, you guys, I'm sure you've already thought this through. I, on the other hand, did not.
You figured it out for us.
Well, here's the thing, though. I glued my circles together, and then I tried to cut it.
Okay.
And it's too thick.
So,
You've
Chris,
got,
that's a great tip. So cut your circles first, guys.
yes, and then cut them in half. And I just eyeballed it. I did not worry about measuring. I have a trimmer that I was able to lay out and see about where center is. And I just cut them all in half, and then I glued them together. And I left one undone so that we could glue them together.
Okay. Together? Glue them
Yes,
together.
glue them together.
Well, we all need to say goodbye to Letha because she has to go to work so she can pay for her next order.
Okay. I guess that's a good enough reason.
Letha, we'll see you later then. She's half live and half later. All right, you guys, I'm just going to mention this since Chris is doing it. She's using her precision glue press, which is designed by My Sweet Petunia. And it's a game changer. Not to use a cliche, but to use a cliche. It is amazing. It holds the Nouveau glue, the 60 ounce, or 6 ounce, not 60. And you can put other glue, though, because it comes with an empty bottle. And you can put other glue in it also. I think it's
2 ounce, 60 mil.
Oh, 60 mil. So it is 60. Just isn't ounces.
Right. It's 2 ounces, 60 mil.
So it would be 30 times that size if it was 60 ounces, which is quite a bit.
I'd need help lifting my bottle.
I don't think it would fit.
I think it would defeat the purpose of saving your hand.
With the glue press, you have a fine tip glue that doesn't clog because it always gets set down into this holder, which has that pink silicone plunger in it, and then it closes the tip, so you can just pick it up and use it. You're not having to put, stick that little fine needle back in your fine tip glue. It's amazing.
As you can see, these are separated about the same amount, and that's what you want, or at least that's what I wanted. And with all projects, I think you do your own thing. If you want, you know.
Well, let's quote Tim and say, you do you.
There you go. And then you can see this white one is quite a bit smaller.
How did you plan to make the blue bigger? Was that later you figured that out?
No, I just knew I wanted stars on it, so I...
Oh my gosh. So here's what we're making, guys. See how Chris can just pop on her glue? And also, if you have any type of issue with your hands, you're not having to squeeze that bottle, where you put your hands closer together. You have the trigger there, and it does help. We've had a lot of people that have said they love their glue press. And they sold out, I think, 3 times. So that's a sign right there.
Exactly. All right, so those are done. I'm just going to set those aside. I want to show you which stamp I used for God Bless America.
Oh, yeah, and it's kind of wavy.
Yeah, and we'll play with it when I get done. I wanted to get it stamped just because, but I used lumberjack plaid, and I really liked the red.
It is good. It's a true red.
It's a good red.
So, Chris, we need to know the name of that stamp.
It is Sweet Land of Liberty stamp set, and it is $12.99.
So that's the Echo Park stamps, and you know they put a lot on their stamps, and you
Yes,
get a
they
little
do.
bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean all different sizes.
Yeah,
and
fireworks and fire rockets and words and borders.
I'm looking at it instead of showing the customer. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good one, Kelly.
That happens. I think people have seen that happen before.
Oh my gosh.
And Dawn is amazed that you're making your own bunting. She said she never would have thought of that. So you're
thank you.
wowing people.
And then, okay, so gonna make our little fence.
Okay, she's making her own fence and her own bunting, guys.
So what I did is after I cut my craft paper, then I measured out and cut my white strips.
Because you want them the same.
Yeah, I want them the same. And in this case, they are 5 inches by 3/8 of an inch.
So 3/8. I was wondering how wide they are. So not a quarter and not a half, but right in between.
Yeah, because my fence posts are a half, and I didn't want them to be the same.
Oh, gosh.
So
okay, look at, she made her little crossbar, whatever you call that, a little bit smaller than the post, which is probably what fences really are. Did you go out and study fences, Chris, to see how to make this?
Yes, I made my husband drive me all over to different. No,
She drove around in the country looking for cute white picket fences.
that's right. And I just eyeball it and hope for the best. And you could use your tape runner too. I did bring my tape runner, but since my glue is out,
It's speedy.
it is.
Now, Chris, this bunting, all of this really would be great on a scrapbook layout.
Oh yeah.
You could put a piece of a fence on the left side and some on the right. You could do it all the way across the bottom. And even if you're not doing the bunting, you could just make a fence. Would be really cute for a garden page, or
Definitely.
maybe kids playing, all kinds of different ideas.
Now, these little white ones, I have 7 of them, and I felt that fit well in the space that we're doing.
Okay.
And they are 3 1/4 inches tall by a 1/2 inch wide.
So they're just 1/8 of an inch wider then.
Exactly.
And if you're doing a bigger card, just figure out what you need. If you need a little
Right.
bit more, then just make a couple extras.
And then I took my handy
this is what I
dandy-
want to see.
I think we have one out, or maybe this was the last one.
We have those on the way, the diagonal punch, the 3-way diagonal punch.
And I played with it to see what I liked the best. And for a 1/2 inch, this second size,
So the middle.
they don't have on the round one, I think they have the millimeters, but
I
on
think
this
they
they
do
don't.
too.
So yes, the middle size, and just
Oh my gosh, then all your fence
do
posts
it
are
twice,
the same.
and your fence posts are exactly the same.
Oh my gosh.
I don't need this one, but we're going to do it again anyway.
It's just fun.
Well, yeah.
It's nice to see something twice. Because the first
yeah.
time you're like, you miss it and you're like, oh.
Oh, how many times have you had to show me something twice on the computer, Kelly?
Well, it always, I don't know.
Let's not count.
I don't know.
And then it sounds weird, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but I'm going to show you how I set up my fence.
Yeah, let's see how you build your fence. Donna's going to make a Chris folio that's patriotic. Donna, that is
nice.
awesome.
So then I just came out a little bit. I wanted a fence on both sides showing so that they know
Okay.
what's up. And I line it up to the bottom of my khaki or craft. And you could obviously things get covered up.
Yeah. So then do you go,
Building from there, and hope for the best. Sometimes I'll lay it out and see what happens.
There's a lot of comments about this punch. And Chris, I actually got one about a month ago, and I do really like it. It's sitting on my table, and a lot of times I'll use it instead of a corner rounder.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good basic to have in your stash, guys.
And to me, the thing is just trying to get them level, or, you know, like if you're building a real fence, you don't want your things
Maybe it's an
off
old
balance.
fence.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
They've shifted a bit.
starting to come down.
Which you could, like, I mean, your fence is really nice and clean, and it's perfect for Patriotic. You could make a shabby fence.
Oh, definitely.
That would be kind of fun, guys.
I'm not really taking the time to super glue these down, but it's going to be fine.
I like it. There's so many possibilities with this, Chris.
I think
Maybe
so.
I could see a cute little page with for farming, and maybe have some of those cute die cuts, farm animals.
Also, you could put a flower pot in front of it and have vines
for your
growing up.
flowers. There's a
Yeah.
lot of possibilities. And I wouldn't have thought of making my own fence. I would only think I need a die for it.
Let's see, it's a little short, but I'm okay with it. It's not the end of the world for me. When I get home, it will be, but that's okay. And then you can kind of lay out, and I go ahead and I cover up that first crossbar, but it gives me a guide as to where
To get it straight.
Yeah,
Well, it
where I
also
wanna
gives
put it.
more dimension.
Yes, yep.
I think it puts a little more dimension around the top of these, which you would have normally.
And then we're going to go ahead and move that. And I think if I were at home and had to do it again, I would ink the top of this to cover up some of those.
Okay.
I think I would like the look of that a little bit better.
So there's an extra tip. And we have a question about the size of your card. What size it is.
It's just 5.5 by 4 and a.
So it's A2,
Yeah,
4
yep.
1/4 by 5.5. So this is an A2 card. You could make it bigger. You just have to figure out your circle sizes.
Yep. Figure out what size your top layer is, and in my case, it was the craft. And then you're going to want to find a circle that's half that size, because you're taking your circle and
Duh. Okay, because I'm like, well, you guys, if you're making a bigger card, you do the math. I don't know what it is, but there you go. Chris, we have a couple ideas. Mary talked about pumpkins, put pumpkins with the fence for the
yeah.
5 Little Pumpkins poem at Halloween. And Shelley, I love this idea too, make a rickety fence for Halloween.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun, having it falling down? And
You guys will be surprised, but we are ordering Halloween product and Christmas product right now as we speak.
isn't that something to have it
Cheryl
already?
says we need to put Pete and repeat on the fence. Oh, and Jerry said, okay, this is another idea I'm going to share with you, Chris. She talked about using the rosette.
Oh,
Put the
yeah,
rosettes on
there
the
you
fence.
go.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we have the rosette die from Tim Holtz, so you could do that. It would be really nice. Or on a layout.
Okay, so this is how it started, and I was like, nope, I'm not happy with this. My stars are bleh. So then I got out my Posca pen, and all I did was make.
And she's shaking it right
I'm shaking
now,
it.
guys. She's shaking it.
Nobody needs to see that.
Getting all the paint mixed up.
Um,
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you, and
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
Nope, that's fine.
Janet says you could use scallop circles for this.
Oh, yeah.
Or even maybe your bottom one. And Mary says you could use wood grain paper or an embossing folder on the fence.
I thought about that too, Mary. I think that would really be cool.
So you're just putting a line on each little star.
I am. You don't need to. I tend to go overboard, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm just putting some little lines. I did take a little more time with this one.
Really?
Yeah, a little.
You look like you're just kind of whipping it out there. And is paint and get it mixed up. if it comes out and it's clear and it's not very white, that means you need to shake it.
Right, you need to shake it some more, and I missed this one completely.
Looks good.
And, you know...
And then when you add these little stars, which are the mini jewels.
You can go back and go over it again if you didn't get it as dark as you wanted.
You could, if you didn't want to do the mini stars, you could do your Posca pen. Do some stitch lines or something on the bunting.
We have these stars also that come in a lot of different sizes.
These are the mirrored stars from Tim Holtz. These are a great patriotic product. And the cool thing is you get 70 and they're only $4.99 and they're different sizes and they're flat on the back. So they're easy to adhere to things.
Now, I did not have a die that had that curve to it because I thought, oh, that'd be neat looking like it was kind of waving.
Waving, blowing in the wind.
Yeah. So, you know, you do with what you have sometimes. I also thought I could put it over here. I didn't like that as well.
You like it in the middle?
I like it in the middle, and for some reason, I liked the red covered up. Don't know why. But
you do you, right,
well,
Chris? Chris
exactly.
does Chris, and you do you.
Well, and people are everybody has different taste. Everybody has different ideas, which is wonderful. That's the fun
just
of doing
like
this.
everyone's been sharing their ideas, and I love that.
Me too, because I take them. And
well, I know, and I guess that's the thing I love about our videos, Chris, is that it's not just about Kelly or Chris or Katie or whoever. It's everybody, because everyone shares so many great ideas, and I love hearing about them because I didn't think about, necessarily making this fence, embossing it, or changing out the bunting with a scallop, or all the ideas we've gotten today. So it's really our whole community, and I really appreciate all of you being here and sharing your ideas, being brave enough. Sometimes people are afraid to share an idea because they think they're bad, and there's no bad ideas.
No, and if you have the idea, chances are other people have thought of it too, but didn't want to share or were afraid.
And chances are a lot of us haven't thought about it. We're like, oh yeah,
why didn't I think of that? Yeah, there's been many of those.
And Jean's glad that you made this on the air so that they could see how it came together.
Oh, good. And well, to see how easy it was. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have one of these not stamps, but help me out with that word. Thank you.
I was waiting to see if you needed help or not.
I did. You could easily cut them on your trimmer, or if you're better at
make a pattern.
Yeah,
you could make one and then use that for a pattern.
Exactly.
If you don't have the punch.
But they are on order. So.
But if you don't have one, put it on your list because I think you'll really enjoy it for a lot of different projects. And Chris, you were kind of the first one using that punch, and you inspired me to get it.
Oh, good.
And I like it. It's sitting on my desk right now.
I have bought all three now. So I and I love the corner rounder. I use that one all the time.
And Lisa, I'm going to tell you, Chris, Lisa loves that you made something that doesn't require something specific, like a specific bunting die.
Yes,
you showed how to do it with what you have, and we like to do that too.
Oh, definitely, because most people do have a stackable circle die, and if you don't, might be the time to get it because it is a basic.
It's a good basic.
I use mine all the time.
Well, Chris, everybody they've been loving this. Remember that 4th of July is a great time to send cards and let people know you're thinking about them. I love to get cards in the mail, and it makes people happy.
Yes, it does.
And if you enjoy making cards, then it's a win-win for everybody. And probably this year, Chris, I would say we have the best selection of patriotic paper and product than we've had in years. So it's a great year to get some stuff, make it. Can you show that bundle one more time? We still have a few left. We put together the photo play Stars and Stripes, not the Stars and Stripes Chris used, but a different one. We put this bundle together. It's a collection pack, a 12 by 12 papers and sticker sheet. And I think it's got 12 papers and then the ephemera for $12.99, and it's normally like about $21.
Oh, probably,
the paper pack alone is $15.99, so you're getting it all for $12.99.
And these are usually $5 to $6.
Yeah, so it's a really good deal. We were able to get a good deal, and we're passing it on to you for your patriotic crafting.
Well, and look at that sticker sheet that's in there.
Yeah, I love that big USA.
Yeah.
So that's our bundle, and we have a lot of other patriotic products. So check it out. I think Janet linked it all for us, so
Yay.
you can click on that, or you can go out to memorybound.com.
Good.
And shopping and themes. And we're going to be back on Monday. I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're in the area, stop and see us. We'd love to have you come in and visit, and we will be back on Monday. And I think, have I missed anything, Chris? Have I forgotten anything?
Not that I can think of.
I don't know what we're doing Monday. I always think I need to check, but it's something really good. I know Teresa's here on Tuesday with the new distress spritz, so be sure and grab your spritz. Oh, I do know Monday. Okay, let's walk over here, Chris, because it just dawned on me.
All
Monday is a craft along.
Oh,
It's June. Thank you.
Oh,
Doug just
yay.
yelled from the back. So it's a craft along with Teresa, and she's doing some watercolor techniques that we haven't seen before. And
so Teresa's here 2 days in a row.
I think she's here on the 25th. It's also my mom's birthday on Monday.
Oh, nice.
So there's the panel. You can purchase this $1.29. It looks a little mixed up because you actually cut it in half. That's like two things in one.
Very cool.
And if you want to craft along with her, you'll need the panel, and then you're going to need your Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. And Teresa says any set will do. So you do not need to buy a special set to craft along with her. And you'll need a paper towel and, of course, water and a heat tool. And the unusual thing, Chris, is you need a piece of acetate.
Really?
So I think it might have to do with this technique
that one,
here.
Yep.
And then Penny took the panels and colored them with Copic markers. So you can see the variety of things you can do with them. And those are $1.29. And maybe she's not here on Tuesday. I don't know, Chris.
Let me go look real quick.
All right, Chris is going to go look.
Who's here Tuesday?
So,
Mickey.
and then while Chris is looking on Tuesday, we're going to come over here and see what Diana's doing. And look, she's putting out the new distress spritz.
Meadow Flowers.
Oh, and it's so pretty.
Tuesday is Katie.
Oh, Katie's here Tuesday. Okay. Katie's here Tuesday, and she is making cards with the Meadow Flowers card kit from Simple Stories. And she showed them to me yesterday. She has done some very different things with them. I think you're going to enjoy it. And so we'll be back with that on Tuesday. So, Chris, thank you a bunch.
You're welcome.
And we'll see everybody on Monday.
Have a good weekend.